Shalom. Shalom, Mashpaka. Back with another one. Actually had a very Shamka filled Shabbat yesterday. Funks. Oh, what was it called? No, I forgot. Funks Grass rest area near Shirley, Illinois. It was I actually, I did get to use a power outlet to recharge the Jackery. I did end up needing that, but I had actually just forgotten that I have solar panels in the truck because it's been so long since I've had a day where I wasn't driving. So I was able to get them out, hook them up. The thing is that it was so cloudy and it did rain. Wind came through and blew one of them off of the top of the truck. Ruach Ha'Qadash that it was not damaged. So I did end up needing the power outlet, and I did end up needing the extension cord. So Tada Abba that I had those things and was able to use those things. And the young guy that was there, Daniel, Abba Barak him for his kindness towards me, and even to use the water that was there. But I didn't collect any water because I couldn't get any confirmation if it was on a well or if it was city water or whatever. So I'm still in need of water. I'm thinking that there's actually a lot of folks that have wells near Goshen and Wakarusa, right? Especially Amish and Mennonite communities. But I don't know exactly how to go about trying to see if I can get a few gallons out of their well. I was telling my Yapa Asha, hi baby, I love you, miss you. And I was telling her yesterday, there was a time when it was normal to inquire, like passing through an area and getting some water for your travels from someone's well. You see it all throughout Scripture. But I guess nowadays it's seen as odd to ask about such things. And I said, what, am I the only person who wants to get water from someone's well? I can't remember what she said, but something along the lines of, you and about maybe 5 or 6 other folks. So that was funny. So, I got my reset in 34 hours. Literally just barely. I tried to rise as early as possible. It was a little bit difficult to wake up, but it's really because it was difficult to sleep too. Just very humid. I don't know exactly what the temperature was last night, but I know that during the day they would say feels like 93, feels like 97, because the humidity was 74%. Crazy. There was a lovely little misting, like the dew, the pre-dawn hours. It was lovely. Awatana. Thank you, Father. So Palal was answered yesterday. I called into dispatch, left a message to request a load that was going to Texas. They called me back, and actually it was a different dispatcher, and he was very man, he was very kind. I really enjoyed dealing with him. Maybe I get him some more in the future. Who knows? But he said, no, that one's unfortunately already taken. So I asked him about another one that was going to New Hampshire, and he's like, yeah, that one's available. And even with like, so normally I would have until 11 o'clock the next day to pick it up. But I was telling him that I have a service appointment for the truck, so it'll be probably closer to like, the afternoon sometime, 1, 2 o'clock. He's like, oh, as long as you pick it up by, I think he said 11 on Friday, I can make it happen. And I was like, make it happen, that's great, thank you. Yeah. And then even with the delivery, they have Saturday delivery available for this trailer, but we put it down for Monday just in case I'm not able to get there. And then I'm not really sure yet. When I get to the service appointment, I'm going to get the laptop out and do a little route planning. I think it's in total like 15 hours. So this is Wakarusa, Indiana to Merrimack, New Hampshire. That's what this load is to be. And Baruk Yahuah, that my escrow is all completed. The $1,500 is already in the account, so they're not taking 10% anymore. Woohoo! Ruach Ha'Qadash. So that's going to also help. And so this one pays $1,600. So thank you, Father. So I want to obviously get the truck serviced, get the brakes inspected, and most likely they will need servicing. Probably going to need pads, and so we'll get that looked at and taken care of, along with fluids and filters, including air filter and cabin filter. The truck is running very well. And I'm also wanting to take a look at the Wakarusa lounge, especially the laundry situation. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stay there or not. It really depends on how long everything else takes. We're gonna do our first test pumping here. Actually, I feel like I'll go ahead and initiate it now, so I'm gonna only do 7 minutes. The fuel gauge is responding normally. The truck is showing 1/2 tank. And so it is pumping. We'll see. Just want to make sure that the pump is transferring properly. Brad did tell me you usually get about 2 gallons a minute. That seems kind of crazy to me, so I'm like, well, I'm going to just try a lot lower and see, because I was doing 20 minutes for a 1/2 a tank. But 1/2 a tank is 18 gallons. So, I don't know. Maybe it was just like majorly over pumping. I don't know. I'm confused by it. But the siphoning issue seems to have resolved by opening up both tanks. I have a fuel stop programmed in here. An hour and 22 minutes, it says 77 miles away. So we'll see. Just enjoying that first cup of coffee, trying to catch up on some of the news. need to get some water. And then really, like, I'm going to need to stay out here and get probably 3 loads is what I would shoot for, and then 1 headed back home. But it really kind of depends on what those loads look like. 3 loads similar to this one would be ideal. But if I get one like that's going to California, then that's going to reduce it by a load, I'd say. I did see one the other day that was going to California. It was over 3,000. So it's kind of like doing 2 in a way. You know, 2 of these, like 1,500, 1,600, that sort of thing. So we'll just see. Just waiting on the Father, and want to take the loads that He's ordaining for me to take. That's the main thing. I don't want to try to force a situation and then things go south, because I'm trying to operate on my own strength. I always see that in Scripture. You can look at Yahusha, son of Nun, right, that they call Joshua. When he gives a command to go up against the enemy, he doesn't consult the Father. That's not well. And then you look and see what happens when he goes to the Father with heartfelt applause and says, "Shall we go up against them? Shall we go up against them? Will you deliver them into our hand?" And then the Father says, "You shall go, and I shall deliver them into your hand. Do not be afraid." Right? Play the man, be the man. So it's always well, guys. Always, always, always. And every little thing. That's why I try to encourage and say there is no petition too small for Yahuwah, because His love for you is so great, so vast, that He wants to hear from you. Every little thing. So don't hold back. Don't hold back. Definitely. Don't do big things without Him, because you'll make big mistakes. Like, oh, I'm gonna just up and move here. I'm gonna just go there. I'm gonna just take a job with this company, like doing stuff like that. I'm gonna enter into this relationship. It seems well to me. She seems to love Yahuwah. She wants to obey the commandments. Like, making the action first and then asking Abba to sanctify it after. It's not the order. It's not the way. So then one of the hardest things is that you feel like you ask and you don't hear nothing. I feel that sometimes that's just a matter of waiting, testing Amunah, proving Amunah. Look how yapal that water is. I guess that's North River. We're really close to a place called Goose Lake near Wilmington. This is 55 north. I'm gonna go up to Joliet and start heading east on 80. The service appointment is at 11. I'm pretty sure that I'll have about 30 minutes of cushion. actually won't know that for sure until I, okay, there's the timer for the pumping. I'm going to turn the pump off. So I was going to say is I won't really know that for sure until I get to the fuel location and enter in the address for the Transport Pro Tech. See a lot of transporters. See a lot of hot shot transporters out on these roadways driving those Rams. A huge percentage of them. I mean, that's absolutely the trend. So I'm not saying nothing about that. That's just an observation. My bonnet, he loves Rams. He just loves Rams. I don't have anything against Ford or Dodge or Chevy. I'm more partial to the styling of the Chevrolet and the reputation over the years. But you know, I'm going to share something with you guys. My Shah and I, some of the things that we talk about. She was talking to me about Four Corners and how it's kind of like an X that marks the spot that there may be some wicked fallen angel, what have you, under the ground there. And we talk a lot about the symbol of X and Dos Equis and the Temple of Osiris's obsession with crossing their arms over their chest, and Elon Musk obsession with that SpaceX and renaming Twitter X and all this stuff, right? And I was actually bedding down in the truck later on that evening after we had the conversation. Let's check this out. Whoa. Dang, bro, that's crazy. Those barges, the shipping barges, man. I didn't realize that the speed limit had dropped so much through here. I need to slow down. I hope this Chevy don't go over. Let me get past him. Speaking of the bow tie, so later on that evening, as I was bedding down, I just looked from my bed in the back at the steering wheel, the horn, the big bow tie. That's always just been this symbol of like this love. Like, I mean, I don't care if it's Camaros, Corvettes, you know, Suburbans, just all of them. Of course, I hate what they did with the low fuel efficient Novas and stuff like that. I don't get into any of that crap. But, you know, the muscle cars and the trucks, and it's like, you know, the bow tie. I'm a bow tie guy, right? And I'm looking at the symbol, and I was like, it hit me like, you know, I feel like Yahuah showed me, and he used my Shah too to plant the seed of this understanding. It's like, I said, oh my gosh, Abba, they cut the four corners. That's all they did. And I look at the symbol, and it is a cross, like the Eucharist, like the Babylonian sun-worshipping symbol. this cross is always involved in wicked Ruach Ha'Qadash worship and submission. So when you look at the bow tie, you can see they just cut the top and the bottom short, and then on the ends they just clipped them at an angle, and so it's literally like a cross. I mean, wow. Got my exit coming up here in 1 mile. I need to scooch on over. So the 4 corners and the cross. And see, the thing is, like, all the car manufacturers, when you look at them, like the Ram, the symbol of it, it's like a Baphomet. And I don't even remember the Ford Motor Company, but if you go back and look, because it's a historical, testable, provable thing. The families, the ownership, the bloodlines that are involved, who they serve, right? Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting thing to bring up. Please have patience with me, your brother, if I repeat myself. I do that. Getting on to 80 East. There's a lot of construction. I come through construction on 55, and we're just jumping right back into more construction here on 80. Like we have a town called Rockdale up ahead. I apologize if there's not too much pretty to look at through here, but I think it's important for us to have that as a contrast, like be able to look at Abba's creation and see how pretty that is, and then look at the works of man's hand and be like, wow. Not pretty. Not pretty at all. Okay, so the total distance is 61 miles, but it has, see, it's trying to tell me to go on to 57 or some such thing. Like, what? I need to look at this a little bit closer. Pinch zooming the Google Maps while driving in construction and traffic is like just, I guess, my pet peeve. Can't like it, but it's essential for me to make sure that I'm getting proper directions to my next stop. Excuse me. So, let me jump off of here for a bit. It's going to be pretty ugly views for a while anyway. And I'm willing, I will be back shortly. Shalom. So we are about 20 minutes away from the shop, Transport Protec, and I'll give an update about how everything goes there. I I did want to say that, you know, the first time I went there, I saved $503 over what I was being charged for the exact same service at a shop back home in Monroe, Washington. So that was kind of like my first impression. And then every time I've gone there, they have ended up bringing me back to the shop, to my truck, say up on a lift or whatever the case is, and talk directly with the mechanics back there. And I really always have appreciated that. I was recently speaking with one of the veteran drivers online and asking him his thoughts, and he said he hadn't heard anything well about them. So I feel like I should acknowledge that and give, you know, that information out in case anybody is involved in RV transport and listens to this. It's exclusively for Wave and Horizon drivers. Also, they're giving 10% off on any brake work for this month, so they always have specials that they're running. If you get your fuel filter and your oil filter done in the same visit, they take like $30 off. These things are, you know, help. They're a help to us. And so, you know, they do have like a little lounge area. You know, they offer you coffee and water and I think like Gatorade or something. But you know, it's a newer type of facility, or it's been like remodeled, renovated, whatever. It's clean, and they're very kind there. So anyway, we'll see how all this goes with what's needed today. Obviously, you can see the view. It's not horrible, but it's not amazing either. So I didn't really feel the need to turn the camera on there for a while. It was just a lot of traffic and a lot of construction, and we have quite a ways to go on this this particular load. So, Allah willing, I will be back with you guys shortly, and halal that everything goes well with the truck. The truck gets everything that it needs, and that it doesn't break the bank, because we dang sure don't have just money to throw around willy-nilly. But it's essential that the truck is reliable, running strong, efficient, all those things. So Baruk Yahuah. All right, family. Shalom. Shalom. Ruach Yahuah, trailer on. Got laundry, got shower, got trailer, got Amish man pulling over to yield so I can go by. Baruk Yahuah. Just really wanted to turn the camera on for a second to let you guys see some of the beauty that's here, and some of these homes and the big yards and farms and cattle and horses, and you know, someone riding a bicycle on the road right in front of me here. Let's see how this goes. I'm not gonna try to pass this person on this hill, because I can't see what's coming the other direction. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to try, because they slowed down, and I don't blame them. It's up a hill. Oh. Yep, it's a different slice of the world here in Amish country. I guess I think I'm in Napani by right about now. I have to wave to folks if he didn't see me. Big red barns, stills, are they still? I don't know. Silos, still silos, probably that. You know what this big long building is up here, like some kind of a, maybe a dairy. I know you can't see it right now, but you'll be able to in a second. This is actually a bigger trailer than I thought. It's a Forest River Westbrook Luxury, and I think the paperwork said it was 38 or 39 feet. I feel like, oh, you see, you can't see it because the corn is so tall. But there's a long building behind that corn there, and I'm not sure what they got in there. Anyway, there's very large blocks of land out here that I guess have been preserved for generations, you know. I need to give my baby a call. I love you, Mama Bear. I miss you. I know it's hard. It's hard for me too. But I'm gonna give you a call here in a bit. I'm just trying to get onto a main road, maybe somewhere I don't have to turn every 1 or 2 miles. That's how it's been so far. Go 1 mile, turn. Go 2 miles, turn. Go 1 mile, turn. Go 2 miles, turn. They fly out here, boy. And these roads are like 60 miles an hour, every single one. And, you know, big trucks like these guys flying, just flying through here. So you got to make sure that the coast is clear when you jump. Abby's doing well. Abigail did not need brakes this time. It was a cabin filter. They cleaned the filter that I have for the engine, the air intake, because it's an aftermarket filter. It costs $105 and takes 5 days for them to order it. So they felt that they could clean it for now, and before I come again, call ahead and they'll order the part and have it in stock. The main thing was that it wasn't connected properly and it wasn't put back together properly. I didn't know that. That kind of stuff is concerning to me, you know. But anyway, let's see. So it was fuel filter, oil filter, cabin filter, clean the air intake filter, top off all the fluids, of course, check the brakes. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. And you know, like I want to go back and double check on the paperwork because I'm like, wow, why was it so much? And I just was doing everything in a big hurry. I ended up door dashing some food because that's it for me today. Like maybe a little bit of jerky as a snack, but that's my meal. No breakfast really, dinner really, just, you know, trying to bust it out quick. I got myself all worked up into a panic, and my Shah helped me out because I literally misplaced an entire day. I thought I had the rest of today and up until tomorrow at 4 to deliver this trailer, but that's not true. Tomorrow's only Friday. So I have the rest of today, all day tomorrow, and then from 9 to 4 on Saturday. So I'm just going to, I found a rest area that's about 3.5 hours from here. I'm going to go there. That'll be the end of what is day 1. Wakarusa to Merrimack, New Hampshire. And then tomorrow will be the meat of the traveling. Get that 11 hours of driving in. Find a place, I don't know where yet, but sleep somewhere near the dealer so that on Saturday it's just a short trip in and boom, boom. Baruk Yahuah. And then you know what? Oh, I don't think I can. Oh, dang. I was going to say, if I could get something assigned to me. I'm gonna have to then come back into the Goshen area and be watching hard on Monday, first thing when they start dropping loads. So snag me something up, rock me to get something. I saw a lot of drivers sitting at Wakarusa, sweating it out in the parking lot, waiting for loads. I even asked one guy if it would be okay for me to hitch up and park right here and then go back in and get my laundry. And he's like, yeah, it's okay. Are you new? I'm like, yeah, I am new. It's my first time to the lounge. But he's like, yeah, you can. Usually we park right along this white fence right here when we have a trailer on. So went, hitched up, pulled up by the white fence and walked back to the lounge and then got all my stuff. And here we are. So yeah, I have 197 miles to go today, and got plenty of fuel. So I'm going to get with Yahusha. We can have us a catch-up time conversation, because I feel like all the hustle and bustle and hectic and everything kind of slowed down. It is super cool that they give us free showers and free laundry. I mean, you gotta have your own soap and stuff, but, and I'm not trying to be thanks filled, but it's a little rough. I might not use that shower again. It's very tiny and there's not really anywhere to like sit, so I have to take off my leg, wash my liner, sit down to put my liner back on and my leg on and all that, and there's nowhere to really sit down. So a little bit slippery, no real grab bars or nothing. It's not like it's a disabled shower, you know. So that's okay though. I appreciate it. Heck, I know I can go in there and do some laundry, you know. And they did have free coffee, and so, you know, I ain't hating on them. I appreciate it. I don't think it's going to be possible for me to hit my goal of 1,000 gallons this month. I need 200 gallons, and I wouldn't even be at 125 right now. I got too much fuel on board still. And that's fine. I'd rather have it, you know, because I can still get my every 50 gallons. You get shower tokens, and those last 10 days. So I might just run her down all the way today, and then top everything off tomorrow and kick August off with a big, you know, 100+ gallon beginning, and then see if I can get August maxed out. Last time I checked, I still have 6 shower tokens right now, and that's, you know, that's quite a bit actually. I don't really feel like I could sit there and do one a day anyway, because I feel like I'm moving around too fast. I'm moving around too fast for all of that. But all is well. Baruk Yahuah. Qadashayam for the truck, for the servicing, for the load. Please cover your servant. Barak me to be swift and safe in your Qadashayam. Bahashem Al-Qadashayam Yahusha HaMashiach. Yahusha. Look at the tall corn dancing in the wind. I'll be back with you shortly, Abba willing. Mashpaka. Shalom. Hey family, Watchman Yirmiyahu back. I got about 30 minutes until I reach my my bed down destination. We've got 175 miles so far with this trailer, and we're getting 9.9 miles to the gallon. Hallelujah. I'm very close to a place called Bayview, Ohio. I guess this is Margarita TWP. I guess that means township. Maybe. Margarita Township, something like that. Coming into a little town now, so I think it's going to be asking me to slow down. We got some winds. I did see some rain clouds earlier, but I kind of lost my bearings a little bit. It's okay. Had a really great conversation with my Yahusha. It's great because we're able to share a lot of our trials and our feelings, and it's a very, very difficult time for us. Me being away so much, not really knowing where the money is going to come from for different bills and things, but it's more than that because, like, we've been living in this trailer for over 5 years now, and I don't blame her one bit for being tired of living in an RV, for feeling like the walls are closing in, and our son, he's getting a lot bigger, and it's getting difficult to share closet space and dresser space with him. I mean, he's getting big, he's tall, and boy, look at the wind whipping through this corn right here. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it though, because we're driving by it so fast. But the wind is really whipping right now, and these trees and stuff too. It's pretty here. I don't know how a person acquires all that. How do they have that? I work hard. I've worked hard all these places that I've been working. 20 years. And it seems like never appreciated, never promoted, never acknowledged. Challenging, not in an abrasive way, but challenging the decisions of those who are at the top, knowing that I have insight in order to make things better. Of course, that sounds a certain way. Anybody could say that. Oh, everybody thinks they could do this and that. If you've lived it, then you know. You know what it is when you have ideas that aren't great ideas until someone else takes them and implements them as their own ideas. Then they're great ideas. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like the trailer and the place that Abba brought us was a real gift in taking us out of the type of work in the beast system that would require me to do things to my body that I'm not willing to do. Okay? I am thanks filled to Abba that he called me out of that. I don't want anything to do with that, right? But now, as we're looking at, oh, well, what if we rent this house in Wisconsin and park the Vengeance there? That's the name of the trailer, by the way. You know, this is a trailer that I owe probably $50,000 or $48,000 on, and I'm gonna pay $600 a month to park it at a place that we rent. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do, because I don't know how to get any return out of the trailer. I don't know what you do with a trailer like that. What do you just write the whole thing off as a total loss? Would you just tell the bank, I give up? I can't pay for that anymore. And, you know, I put myself out there, a call to the elders of Yashar'Al, or anybody that wants to dwell together, to sojourn together, to come together, because I really think that I'm not alone in feeling this way. I think that this has to do with being called and chosen, and being cursed, being the tail and not the head. And I think that Abba wants us to feel these feelings, and helps us to appreciate all the more what He's going to do. But it can be difficult, and when your Shah comes to you in tears, then it really hits hard, right? As a husband, as a man, as a provider, I knew these things. I knew that we were financially locked into the trailer. I really don't know, guys. And sometimes you're just so down that it's difficult to appreciate and to praise Him in the storm. I got a stupid, stupid side panel door thing on this trailer popped open. I gotta try to secure that. Just bear with me. Put my leg on. Okay, I'm gonna pause you for a second. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to make sure that I was connected. Phew. Yeah, so one of the little pass-through doors became unlatched and was flapping. I tried earlier to lock all those, and then the latch for the lock one didn't work. And I've been noticing this more and more on some of these newer trailers. Anyway, please halal for us, and like I said, I'll continue to be halal for you guys. I believe that my siblings know exactly what I'm talking about, and they feel it, and it sucks, and it is hard, you know. And I do wish that we could come together. I want to feast. I want to feast with my people. You know what I mean? I don't even want much. Like, I'm not attached to material things. I'm sleeping on an air mattress in the back of my truck for like a week. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm not saying any of that to brag or nothing. I'm trying to paint a picture of how I feel, what my expectations are, and all those kinds of things. But of course, I want to give my Yasha and my bond the things that they deserve and need in this life. And I do work hard. You know, I don't. Anyway, got about 20 minutes here. It is pretty. You see all the cornfields and everything. I think we might get some rain. We'll see how it goes. And then tomorrow, I have a complete day of driving. And I know that I'm going to do close to 10, 11 hours. So that on Saturday, I'll be close. And it'll just be kind of a short few hours before I drop the trailer off at the time that they open. So tomorrow I'll call ahead to the dealership, get a point of contact, introduce myself, let them know that I'm intending to come early on Saturday to drop the unit off. And then once I drop it off, I'll start making my way back to Goshen and see what Abba has next for me. So, Halal that all is well with you and yours. May we all be able to find contentment in what Yahuwah provides and steward well. Just remain Qadash, remain in Him, and endure through these storms. I would rather be Qadash and have nothing than be wicked and have the whole world. You know what I mean? Alright, Mashpachah. Shalom, Shalom. Shamkadani family. Sun is bright, the log is charged up. I'm gonna just go about 20 minutes at first fuel station here. Pop off the fuel and get me some coffee. I'm not even gonna bother to break everything out to make the coffee here now because I have such a limited amount of water and I don't want to waste any of it. It's a really rough night. My bed kept losing air. A halal that it's just because I didn't have the cup in the right configuration and something was pressing up against it, the door. It presses itself up against the door and runs out of air. It's hopefully Salakia. A halal that's all it is. A really rough evening. We're going to talk about it a little bit during this drive, but let me get situated and we'll get on the road. Shalom family. Alright, I got the diesel and I got the coffee. I guess that was like near Avon, Ohio, or possibly Westlake. Not sure exactly, but I think we're gonna start getting kind of close to Cleveland. We'll see. I got another stop put into the phone here that's 3 hours away. 3 hours and 15 minutes. So see if I can make my coffee last that long and forego having to use the facilities that long. It's doable, but we'll see. Alright, so yeah, I wanted to talk about some things that have been going on. Matters of the heart, I guess we'd call it. I'd call it. And with the disclaimer, I love my Yahusha. She is Yahuah, just so cute. She didn't do nothing wrong. You know, I feel like it's important for our wives to be able to let us know if there's areas where we need to focus on making improvements in what we're providing. I mean, after all, when we palal to Yahuah, are we not doing the same thing? Asking him to increase this or stretch that or bring new something into our life, renew something. So, you know, I'm struggling to find a way to provide for my house on a single income in the B system. The B system rewards its own for one, and so you got to consider you're doing something that's earning you a lot of money. It's probably serving the B system in a lot of significance. Also, you know, most Babylonian males are really keen on their wives working, and I don't think it's Qadash for us as Yashar'Al, as Natzarim, for our Yahusha to go out and be under the headship of another male. And I'm not saying that they should go out and get a job and work for a woman and be under a bunch of ladies. I'm not even saying that. In Proverbs 31, you know, you can see that the daughter of Yahuah does a lot of things to help her family to prosper. And that it could be crafting and selling things even on the internet. It could be raising up herbs or crops or chickens and getting eggs. It could be a lot of things, but she really is on the property, like in the home, supporting her husband who goes out and fights in this beast system. Because yes, our sisters are halal warriors, and they're always fighting for everyone's shalom and gil, but they're not warriors the same way that a man is a warrior, to go out and have to fight the enemy like that. I wouldn't even have for my Yahusha to engage in correcting people on doctrinal matters online, even if she's right and she knows it's not right for her to extend out and do that without me there, without my cover, without her cover. She can bring shame upon her house and upon her head and upon her aluah. These things are not easy for most people to understand, but I believe that they're rooted in the scriptures, they're based in the scriptures. And if when somebody comes and argues against those sorts of things, they don't really understand the scriptures. No offense. And they don't really have the Ruach Ha'Qadash. Because the role of the husband is to protect and to provide. And the protection isn't just physical. I want to be able to give my Yahusha emotional protection too. And I don't want her to have to wage war in those ways. And even though she is very capable, if it comes down to it, right? And then the provision isn't just material. It's obviously spiritual leadership. It's a shame for a man to not provide spiritual leadership for his own house, to rely on a pastor, a preacher, pope, a cardinal, what have you, doctrines of man and all the rest. You know, John MacArthur and John Piper and R.C. Sproul and Alistair Begg, I don't know, whoever used to utilize a lot of these things. Okay, I gotta be careful because this is gonna be turning into an accident. I gotta get over it. I gotta stay on 90. Okay, so Tada Abba, thank you, Father. Okay, so the protection and the provision isn't just physical and spiritual, it's also emotional. And this is an area where we as males oftentimes do lack. And just be honest, you know, if a male was, if he was a guy who was giving you a smorgasbord of emotional, and he wasn't doing the other, he is no man at all. Right? I might have to wonder if he's a eunuch. Okay? It's just something that's not necessarily natural for us, but we work on it and we strive to do it and we learn it. And I believe that that's why when Yahuah was taken from Adam, I just saw a crazy person with a mask only on their chin, driving like a chicken with its head cut off. Anyway, when Yahuah was taken from Adam, there are certain attributes and aspects of the woman, okay, that there are certain things that a man has in his role that a woman doesn't have in her role, and there is a distinction and there is a difference, and the world wants to try to convince everybody that there's not. That's upside down, twisted, and backwards, man. You know, we follow the scriptures, and the scriptures are very clear about the order of creation. They're very clear about roles, headships. Okay, there's a nurturing side of a mother that is in her. She's wired that way. That's how she's made. She's supposed to do that. That's how she can feel her contentment in her creator when she does the thing that she's designed to do. When she starts to do the things that she wasn't designed to do, she is going to have a restless ruach. She thinks that she's doing something because the world has her deceived. Okay? And it's the same for the man if he starts to take on the roles that are not ordained for him. They're not part of how he was made, what he was created to do, and all the rest. Okay? So, sometimes the sister might feel like, well, I don't want to tell him because he's going to get upset. And that's understandable, but as a man, as a husband, I want my Yasha to be able to come and tell me. It's important to me that she know that she can tell me her feelings. Now I have to reason with her through her feelings oftentimes because feelings are not facts, but her feelings are still valid and they matter to me. I care about how she feels. Okay, even though I might have to sometimes give her a little bit more perspective and understanding from where I come from, and we work together, and that's how the one flesh works too. This ain't just a sexual thing, and it's not even just like a spiritual thing. It's also, you know, mental and practical and application and all the rest. Okay. So she comes to me and she explains to me how, okay, well, the way that you just rebuked our son, the way you just corrected him, I think that there's something that you should know. See, he's really been working hard on that, and he's really come a long way. It's something that he and I have been working on, and I'm really proud of him. And I said, okay, thank you, baby. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to let him know that I'm well pleased to hear that he's been working on it, and he's been getting a lot better on it, and this is why it's important. And I'm just going to reinforce your teaching on that. And See, and so look at that. Everything's like way better. I mean, way better, because I'm able to go to him and explain to him, this is why it's important that we don't trample on the word that way. When we're reading the word, we don't mumble, we don't sound like we don't care about the word. I can't stand by and watch anybody handle the word that way, okay? But he is a child, and he's learning, and he's working on his reading skills, and he's learning, you know, how to enunciate better and how to project his voice better, okay? And I just need him to understand why we handle the word with such respect and care. And that, you know, and that all went well. I thought it went well. I'll have to follow up with my Yahusha and see how she feels about it and how he ultimately received it all. Dang, I just seen another 666. I've been seeing a 666 everywhere. It's just weird. Anyway, so we protect and we provide, and so I know that it's difficult, dude, to have your wife at home and you're out here trying to earn, to pay the bills in this insane economy that they gaslight us on the TV and tell us how it's the best ever and all this. It's rough out here. I just got my truck serviced at the place that my company says to go to, that gives discounts and exclusively services our drivers, Wave and Horizon drivers. I got nothing done to my brakes. A brake inspection and Baruk Atah, the brakes are okay for a while longer, so we're gonna let that go. Hallelujah. Everything else was just service. Fuel filter, oil filter, cabin air filter, clean the air cleaner. That's it, just service. There was no actual repair, no part replacements apart from filters, right? You got some fluids and stuff. $350. Okay, $350 is a lot for what I'm earning out here, considering how much miles I put on the truck. I just had the tires rotated at 112. They recommended go ahead and get it every 10,000, come in and get it rotated. Well, that's 5,000, almost 6,000 miles overdue now, because I'm out here running around, delivering loads, working hard, you know, maxing out my logbook. I mean, maxing that thing out. I'm milking. I milk that logbook, baby. Make that thing work for me best I can. Okay? I went and looked up on the laptop and found 3 rest areas, because I don't know what to expect for a rest area in Massachusetts. They look like malls. I don't know. Maybe y'all disagree, but I'm not really sure if the truck's allowed to park there overnight or not. You know, and if I go all the way out there and I'm on my 10th hour, 10.5 hours, and I get there, bro, I really got no choice. What am I gonna do? Get back out on the road and violate that? You know? So I chose 3 different ones within a 150 mile, most likely 150 miles, maybe more. So I could be like, okay, well, I'm gonna stop at this one and look at it and see what it looks like. And if I can stay there, then Baruk Atah. If I can't, I'm gonna try to push on to the next one. That's just what I figured to be the best stewardship for that situation that I could do. Okay? I ordered DoorDash when I was at the shop. That's a very rare exception for me to do something like that. I do have a couple times that I got me steak burrito when I've been out here on this road. Okay? But for the most part, I eat my food out of my fridge here. I I'm pretty sure, my last boiled eggs. Excuse me. Yep, and I have a little bit of all the other things left because I've been trying to do, a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one, a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one, so I keep my variety going, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I try to cook, something nutrient dense, protein packed, at least once a day. But I knew that yesterday was going to be one of those days that I wasn't going to really be able to cook. And sometimes that happens, so I got to do something else. So I just get like I get like a steak burrito, and that's like my one meal. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that I'm not going home sleeping in my own bed, taking a hot shower. I'm out here working and grinding, doing what I can to try to make this work. And of course I have to keep the truck serviced, keep all the fluids and the filters and everything up to date. It shouldn't be that much, especially for the place that they recommend you go. That's just how much crap costs. I don't even know what I just paid for diesel, but I know that I use the fuel book app to find the places, the cheapest places before I get fuel. And I plan ahead and I plot it out, and I use my auxiliary tank to help stretch my miles so I can get to the places that have the best prices. That's just stewardship, me just trying to do the best I can out here. But by the time you look at what it takes to service a truck, what it takes for fuel, look at how much all of our bills are, right? Another huge way that my shop helps our house economically is that she does all the food preparation so that we don't go out and eat out. We don't want to go out and eat out anyways because we don't trust the food. But none of that would work if she wasn't there working it. She finds the eggs around us that people are selling, cage-free eggs, so we can get those and save money and get the healthy kind, right? She coordinates the Azure drops where we get cream and chicken and spices and things, some oil, as well as we have freezer. We have two freezers actually, because one of them doesn't work as well, but we keep bones and stuff in it. Anyway, she's doing that, managing that. Of course I'm helping with that when I'm there and get the meat out and stuff like that. But look, I'm not there. She's got to go get meat out, right? We got some thermometers to try to regulate the temperature to adjust and fine-tune the machines so that they're efficient as possible. Anyway, what am I saying? What's the point? The point is that I am walking that walk. I'm not just telling people that the man should go out and be the provider and that the woman should be home caring for the house and for the children. I'm not just saying that. That's what we're doing. We're trying to make that work. Boy, this beast system don't want that. They want to call me evil, toxic masculinity, misogynist, sexist. They'll call me all kinds of names. Well, let me tell you something. I'm just trying to follow what the scripture says. I'm just trying to follow the will of our Creator. So your problem ain't really with me. Your problem is with Yahuwah. May Yahuwah rebuke you. Okay? Because I'm not even going to try to tell you should do this or you should do that. I'm trying to speak to the children of Yashar'Al that are seeking the narrow path. That's what I'm talking to. Okay? If you don't agree, you don't need to listen to me. It's a free country. Turn it off. You know what I mean? But for those of us who are trying to be in the way and we're coming out of Babylon, and most likely a lot of us, our Asha or our girlfriend or what have you, they go out and they work. The Babylonian beta boy loves it when his female brings home wages, right? They love that, because I'll tell you what, it's a burden to have the responsibility to provide. it's a big responsibility, especially when you know the enemy is choking the people, fleecing the lambs. Everything's getting more and more inflated. Okay, that's part of the whole black horse of the apocalypse. The supply chain issues, the price is going up. Even in Gaza, they can buy flour, but you better be loaded, dude. You can buy it. They got, 500% increase in the cost of oil, cooking oil. I'm just saying that's usually how it goes. And things oftentimes escalate day by day, creeps in like leaven, just like the boiling frog, okay? But everything is sped up right now. But I'm just saying, like, we're going to expect to see, I've seen diesel for almost $5.50. It's probably going to hit 7, and it'll hit 10, and it'll do this stuff. It'll definitely come to a point where it's costing me money to deliver trailers. I won't be able to make any money doing it. I don't know when. That's why I continue to endure. That's why I persevere. Alright, so it was not unwell for my Shah to come to me and say the walls are closing in this RV. I knew we were going to do it, but I thought it was just going to be for a season because we were going to get land to get a manufactured home, and we kind of had this idea like what we were going to try to do. And it all didn't work out because there was a deceiver in our midst who sold us a bunch of lies, a literal witch, okay? And so, but that is what it is. And I'm scratching, clawing just to keep us in what we have. But she's okay to tell me that what we have is not even enough. It's a kick in the balls when you're breaking your back to try and do it. It hurts. But I know that it's not something that we can do forever. We didn't want to be in the neighborhoods. I know that these people will unalive each other for a can of corn when it gets that way, and I don't want to be near to that. But if there's a house that we can rent in Wisconsin, or we could get land with other people, we can be removed from crowded areas, then so be it, right? I don't know what to do with the trailer. I know that I owe more than it's worth, and it's like that as soon as you buy a trailer, it's going to be like that. They don't retain their value. Hang on a second, I got to get around this big rig. Okay, so I knew that. I'd say probably 3 years ago, I was talking to a local dealer about trading it in on a newer one, because at that time, my family was still looking at videos of trailers, and I would be like, hey, that's we're coveting, we shouldn't do that. We're like, oh, but look at what they have this now, and they have this now, and that'd be so great, and da-da-da-da-da. And I, unfortunately, in a moment of weakness, was dealing with a dealer and talking, okay, I have this, I owe this amount on it. Come on, girl, you need to shift. It's really not well for you to do that. Oh, jeez, why is she not shifting like that? That's concerning, dude. Okay, in a moment of weakness, I was talking to him and giving him all the information on my trade, seeing what I could do. Okay, and I knew just based on that, they give me estimates of the trade over the phone, but they need to see it in person. And by the time they see it, they're going to just end up knocking some more off, because their guys would find different things that are wrong with it that, well, we would definitely have to fix that in order to resell it. Because, of course, they're going to tell you that, but then when they sell you a used trailer, it's going to have problems, right? Because that's just how it is. Right? Understand, right? everyone's out to make a buck. Nobody's really there trying to like look out for you. I'm searching high and low for my people so we can come together and look out for one another in a world where all the hearts have grown cold, people have become lovers of themselves. But look what happens. I put this information out and it's crickets. And I say, Abba, where are my people? Like what? You know? You probably feel that same way too. Actually, I can stay in this lane for a little bit. I need to adjust my speed, match what we got here. Okay, so we're going to be on this one for a while, so Baruk Atah. And I'm sorry, I know I'm not talking a lot about the view, but you can enjoy the view while I'm telling you about this stuff. It's important things, okay? It's important things for husbands, for fathers, for brothers, for also sisters, wives, and mothers. Because it's okay for her to come to me and tell me these things. It doesn't mean that I can do anything about it right away. I can say, thank you so much for telling me. I even told my Shah, I said, I'm sure that you thought that, oh, I better not tell him, he's just going to get mad. And she's like, I definitely thought about that. And I said, Mom, I am thanks-filled that you decided to go ahead and tell me, because I'd rather know, even if it hurts, even if it's hard, right? Because, you know, for me, it's less. And plus, I'm not really there as much. Heck, I'm there hardly at all now. But even before, I was there a lot less. Because I was dashing when I wasn't at my regular job, right? I had basically two full-time jobs. Two complete-time jobs. Sorry, we're not supposed to say F-U-L-L, because there's a more mighty one called P-H-U-L. P-H-U-L and F-U-L-L is the same thing. Don't let the spell fool you. Spelling. It matters about the pronunciation. It powers in the lips and the words that we speak. Okay? Alright. I lost track of what I was saying. It's okay for her to come to me and tell me. In fact, as well. It'd be worse if she kept it to herself, bothering her and not telling her. So I would encourage my sisters that hear this, if there are any, that you do communicate those things to your spouse. Okay? Y'all are one. Y'all are one. It ain't a personal thing. My baby knows that I'm working hard, doing everything I can to provide, and we both know that Yahuah is our provider. Okay? It wouldn't matter what kind of scheme I came up in the world to make money and this and that. If Yahuah ain't in it, it's going to blow up in my face. And at the same token, you know, look at Joseph, right? He was falsely accused, imprisoned, and Yahuah rose him up from there to second in command of all Israel. If Abba wanted me to receive favor at my job, I was doing the things that he would command me to do, to work heartily as unto Yahuah. But I don't believe that he wanted me to be there, or else he could have promoted me within that company. Right? The leadership there could have looked upon me with favor. They could have appreciated the values, the attributes, the ethic that I brought to that job, the things that I tried to innovate in order to make improvements in customer service, tech support, and in trend analysis for the frequency review board, failure reviews. Okay, he could have done that, of course. But then think about that. I talked to my Shah about that. Let's say that happened, and then I was like, Baruk Atah, we're getting land. We can afford it now. Okay? All the debt had been pretty much paid off. I only just now had to go and use credit in in order to outfit this truck to do this work. Anyway, I go and buy land. We order a manufactured home. Okay, now we're definitely rooted there. You see what I'm saying? Now see, because now she's coming to me, she's saying, I was definitely calling me out of here, like, you need to get out of Washington now. And I'm like, okay, well, Baruk Yahuah, but we know that he's going to be showing us the path soon, right? Because, yeah, he's going to put it upon your heart, but he's not going to expect you to just go blindly into the night, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that guy that was saying that he was driving with his eyes closed because he had amunah. That's not amunah. That's poor stewardship. That's recklessness. Okay? Abba knows that I haven't been in Washington for 5 years. He knows that. I think it is Qadash for the man to try to provide the things for the wife that she feels that she needs or wants. It's well for him to try and do that. That's how we got in Washington in the first place. Okay? But he never gave me really love for it. What do I love about Washington? The creation. And I hate what they do to it. And that's one of the things I talk about a lot on these videos. You see them raping the earth so they can profit off it. That's some things that have been bothering me for a long time, and I believe that Abba shows me those things because I will be a steward over the earth. And I will be assigned an area and make sure that nothing like that ever happens again. That no one ever does anything like that to the earth. Okay? So, it's well for her to come and tell me. Then I let her know, I know, I understand, I'm sorry that you feel that way, I'm doing everything I can, fighting to change that. This is a situation regarding the RV. I mean, maybe I just call the bank and say, I'm not able to make the payments on this anymore. Maybe I do that. Because I can, you know, up and move us to a rental in Wisconsin. But see, I want to make sure that we're not in an area, like I said, near folks. And I want to make sure that we have certain things like that are important, like well water. I don't want to be on city water. The city water is a target for attack. And they will be attacked at large scale because these people are sick and they're wicked. For real. Okay? In fact, a lot of people will probably go into FEMA camps because they'll be afraid of the water, and they'll tell them, you can come here and have pure water. Hang on a second. Okay, I just wanted to make sure to lock in that video because these videos disappear, and it's important what I'm sharing, I believe. And you know what? If no one cares, that's fine too, because I'm just trying to obey Abba. You know, I believe too that we have experiences in life so that we can share with our brothers and sisters. And Abba shows us things through our suffering. And that's what's going on here. Because I feel like my true siblings feel this way. They feel that they work their fingers to the bone and they can't ever get ahead because we're the tail and never the head. Period. Right? And that maybe, you know, you should have a different living conditions or living situations, or heck, maybe a lot of them don't even have a place to lay their head, like Yahusha himself. The son of Adam had no place to lay his head. I'm resting my head right back here in my back seat, but it's in a different place every night. You know what I mean? So that reminds me of back in the day when they used to have a bedroll be strapped into the back of their saddle, and they'd be out crossing the plain, working for some herdsman, rustling up cattle, and they'd sleep under some tree somewhere, and they'd never even know where until it was time for the sun to go down. I don't want her to feel that way. And I understand our boy, he's getting big, you know. And yeah, it was cool that we converted the garage of the toy hauler into a bedroom and it had its own half bath. It's still not half BAD right now. They need to work to get rid of a bunch of stuff because it got cluttery over 5 years. But they're working on that, I believe. I haven't gotten an update in a while, but I know it's something that she was working on. She said, I need to get a couple things, like a filing cabinet and a new shelf. And then I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. And I said, okay, that's great, let's do it. And then we bought a massive printer scanner, which takes up more than half of a desk, but, you know, they homeschool. So it's well for him to have that for his projects and stuff. And it's well for her to have it for the narrow path business. You see what I mean? So we're trying to do well with little. And we're to the point where it's getting all worn out. Something has to give. And that's part of the reason too why we need to relocate, because if I come out here and I run 5-6 loads and make, you know, whatever it is, $9,000, I gotta lose about 700 of it when I go back for fuel because it's so far away. I mean, think about it. If I was only, you know, 6 hours away from the yard, then it's not that big a deal for me to run 2 loads and go home. You know, I have a much higher chance of being home every Shabbat as well. So that's part of the reason why we're trying to look to relocate. And I don't think that you can find a better rent, right? So I pay $600 a month for the trailer and I pay $800 to be on the land. That comes with power, water, trash, and internet. So where are you going to get $1,400 for rent with all utilities included? You know, 2 bedroom and a 1.5 bath. You dang sure ain't finding it in Washington. You see what I mean? So I have to give thanks. And I know that I'm on a well, so if something happens to the water, we're well. You know what I mean? Plus, even if nothing happens to the water, stuff already has happened to the water because it's normal to fluoridate the water. Okay? You can just go do your own research on that. You can go watch a documentary called An Inconvenient Tooth, which is a play on the inconvenient truth of like Al Gore's whatever. Ooh. Dang, bro. That's a rough road right there. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that we're up against it in a hard way. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to do. And even if we do move, I feel like we should move in the trailer, because even if we didn't, I would probably need to get a trailer for our stuff, which I could, you know, yeah, I could do that. I could get like a U-Haul trailer or whatever. Or, you know, if there's a way to put all new tires, brakes, and check the bearings on the trailer and drive it out there and then sell it or keep it for a while. Or, you know, if there was like a brother or a new family, a small family that would want to stay on it, on our land, you know, like something. I don't know, guys. I don't have the answers. I need Yahuah to help me. I need Yahuah to help me. You know, because like I said, it's well for her to tell me, but I think it's also normal for me as a man to lament in it. I know about that already, but when I hear it from her and she's crying, now I'm really, I'm feeling some kind of way now. When I'm dealing with something from a matter-of-fact perspective, logic, and all that, that's one thing. Okay, I'm always doing that, weighing things, considering this, considering that, what's the best course of action, all that. But now there's like this feeling associated with it and like this emotion attached to the problem. I can look at it and be like, man, that sucks. I don't like this at all, Father. Please help me get out from underneath this. I feel trapped, right? But my baby comes to me crying about it. Now I'm really upset. You know what I mean? And so, but I think it's well for her to know that she can do that. And then I have to let her know, I'm really sorry that you're feeling that way. I'm fighting hard. I'm doing everything I can. If there's anything that you see that I'm doing that's error, you let me know my error so that you can sharpen me and I can sharpen you. We need to practice being content in all things, and sometimes it even means this. I'll tell you right now, I miss you. I miss our boy. I miss those little doggies, and I even miss vengeance because I miss my bed, and I miss a hot shower, and I miss reading the Safar and sitting in front of the fireplace and going live on the Shabbat and eating the delicious food that you make. I miss all that stuff. So I get it, you know? And yeah, I look at the pictures. Sometimes looking at the pictures is the dang biggest problem. You go on the internet and you look at a problem and they got 25 pictures and you start looking at the pictures and you go, oh, look at the paint in that room. Oh, look at that patio. Oh, we can do so much on that patio. Oh, look at that. There's plenty of room to park vengeance. We can park vengeance right there. Oh, look, there's a creek that runs right through the back. And it starts to just become like this stumbling block. We don't know if that's where Abba wants us to go. We have no idea. But if we start getting our heart attached to it and we start to covet it, we're in hataf. We ain't supposed to be coveting somebody else's land. We ain't supposed to be coveting somebody else's house and property and rooms and features and amenities and stoves and kitchens and bathrooms and all that. See what I mean? And oh, is that a hard pill to swallow? You better believe it. You better believe it. Right? Yaakov, James, Yahusha's brother. Didn't he write about how all these things are rooted in covetousness and discontentment? That's why you murder, because you want and cannot attain. Right? So we got to be really cautious about it. You know, and I tried to reassure my baby. I let her know how much I love her, that I'm out here fighting my hardest for her, that I Palal, that Abba make a way, and he opened up some paths and some doorways. And then I recommend that she's just stop looking so much right now. Excuse me. Because there's actually an order to these things, and it's out of order because we have other issues that are binding us there legally. Those chains have to be broken by Yahuah, and those have to be broken first. Excuse me, I got like a tickle in my throat here. Let me take a drink. We got a lot more beauty out here now, don't we? I like this tree right here. Look at that tree. Bing! The camera is such that you can't really even see the tops of certain trees if they're too close. So, brothers, you should be the provider. And you should fight to be the sole provider for your house. And even if that means that you can't have all the stuff that you used to have in Babylon. Remember when our people came out of bondage? They grumbled and they complained because they didn't have all the things that they used to have when they were slaves. They wanted to go back because they missed onions and other things. But you see what I mean? And they would say things to Masha like, did you bring us out here in this wilderness to die? Right? But see, again, you can't put all of it on Masha. Masha's the leader. He is called, but he serves Yahuah, and Yahuah is the one who was providing. How many times did he have to show us that in the scriptures? Where did the manna come from? Yahuah. Where did the water come from? Yahuah. You see what I'm saying? Masha tried to take a little bit of credit for bringing the water, boy, and Abba did not appreciate that. I don't take credit. I don't want to take credit. All I'm saying is, where's my error? What am I doing wrong? Show me. Trust and believe. If I go to my earthly father and ask him, he would say, oh, you should have stayed on in Indian Harbor. You were one position away from being the communication manager. You had your retirement kicking in. You know, you could have got whatever it is, the price matching too, where you say, yeah, go ahead and take, you know, $1,000 a month out, and they'll also they'll match it dollar for dollar, whatever. Okay, he has worldly answers. That crap ain't gonna fly. Those people are gonna make you get an abomination of desolation. I'm not gonna defile the temple. Okay, I did things to my body back when I didn't know better. I strive now to not do that. I remorse that I have tattoos on my body. When people ask me about the tattoos, I get my face gets long. I try to use it as an opportunity to tell them I used to believe in these things. I used to, you know, worship at the altar of Star Wars movies, and, you know, I tried to turn it into some kind of opportunity to tell them, but now. I can go out and find people. I can find people left, right, and center that'll look at things and be like, oh, here's where you went wrong. This is what you should have done. They're experts in everything, but they don't even know where they are. They don't even know that they're not on a ball whirling through space. They'll probably tell me to take the doctor's advice when it comes to my diet. That's also false. They'll probably tell me that I should get this medication and that medication, and I should go to this worldly counselor and that worldly counselor. People who don't even believe in Yahuah are going to tell me false. Okay? So let us go to one another, my brothers. Okay? Come, let us reason together through the scriptures. And this is my deduction, brother. You need to be the head of your house. You need to be the man. You need to be the provider. And then you need to free your Yashar'Al up to be what she is made to be, so that she can be a flower that opens up. Because that is a beauty and an aroma that's well-pleasing to all those around her, the children and you. When she's able to walk in the role and do the things that the Father had designed her to do. And my Yashar'Al ain't supposed to have the burden of all this stuff. I don't want her to have to worry about money. I don't want her to have to worry about how we're going to get rid of the trailer, if we are going to get rid of the trailer. Or how long are we going to have to live in the trailer, because I thought this was a means to an end. I didn't know it was going to be forever. And ultimately, it's not forever. Because He's gone to prepare a place for us. Mansion with multiple rooms. If it were not so, He would have told you. See? So guess what? Rejoice that you don't appreciate this, because this is not your forever. This is the closest to Sheol that you're ever going to get. okay? And the people that I see out here that are having their best life now, so to say, is the closest to the new Arats and the new Shemayim that they're ever going to get. Unless they repent, unless they turn from all worldliness, coveting, materialism. We have to learn to give thanks and appreciate the simplest things. The things that the Father has everywhere, all around us, that these cities blind our eyes to. Removing nature and creation from our mind's eye. Alright guys, did I touch on all of it? I think I did. Mama's kind of tapped me on my shoulder here. So I'm going to refill my own cup spiritually. In Geneva. Okay. I don't know. I guess we're close to a place called Austinburg. I don't know exactly where I'm at, you guys. I'm on 90 East. And I'm trying to get to Massachusetts, and I gotta go through New York, and I've never been here before. So I'm gonna try to take in some of the creation. You know what? Why don't I just let the camera roll for a bit? I just close my lips for a second. Just give Yahuah thanks for everything he's given us. Because the truth is, we don't deserve any of it. Ain't none of us worthy. Okay? If we were to really receive our wages for our works, that would be Hatah and death, lake of fire. That's really what we deserve based on our works. Think about that. So how much is our little old trailer better than the lake of fire? Infinitely better. And not only that, we have a promise of a mansion. And that's infinitely better than that. Infinitely, infinitely, infinitely better. Baruk Yahuah. Sorry, I just wanted to say, baby, if you're watching this, I love you. You didn't do nothing wrong, right? We might want to check our coveting, all of us, all the time. Ain't nobody out here that's not guilty of coveting at some point. If they were unable to covet at all, then they would have no crime at all. Okay? And, or I should say they'd be capable of having no crime at all. And that would make his sacrifice in vain, and it would make the scripture a lie. And I'll tell you right now, they're a lie, because the scripture says they're a lie. If any says that they have no crime, they're a liar. Okay, I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to get back home. But I know that I have much more fighting to do before that. I'd say this one, at least 2, maybe 3 more, and then looking for one coming back home. If I get one coming back home after this, it's too soon. Even if I get one immediately after the next one, it's too soon. And I'm sorry about that. But now I feel dedicated to staying out here and fighting longer, even more. Because I don't want you to feel like the walls are closing in on you. I want there to be a way. I need the Father to make a way. Abinu, give chesed, shalom, gil, by the comfort of your Ruach. We know that every ta'ub and precious gift comes down from you, Father of light. And you alone are the way maker. And you alone open doors that we walk through. We don't want to go in some other way. That's true not just for everlasting life, but also for your works for us, dwelling places for us, maybe that we can sojourn with a brother and a sister, or multiple families together. How amazing would that be, Mashbuka? Tabula, Erie, Pennsylvania. Just was looking at the loadout board for my company, and they got 45 outbound loads. So it's looking like it's going to be a busy month as far as that goes. Since I don't really know my way around, I wouldn't know if Hatfield, Pennsylvania to Rainham, Massachusetts is worth it. I honestly, well, I feel like I need to stay away from reloads for now and just get back to Goshen and get, I don't know, it's tough. It's tough to know what the most wise thing to do is. I don't want to grab a load that's out here just to stay out here, but if there's one that's like works me back towards Indiana, then that would be great. But if not, then I should hold off. I just thought of something too. Maybe I should detach my rock guard, put it up underneath my camping bin, lay it across the top of the fifth wheel hitch, and then strap it down at the toolbox end too. Because I think that could save me probably about 4 miles to the gallon. I think I'm gonna try that. Baruk Atah Yahuah. What's the worst that can happen, right? It blows out and busts out somebody's windshield and they go off the road in a tree. That's really horrible. I don't want that. But if it's underneath the camping bin, which is strapped down, and I strap the other end of it down, dang, that seems like that would be secure. It's funny that the guy's got on the back of his jacket, I say funny, but I don't mean it. It's evil is what it is. It's got vampire fangs that drip blood with a halo and wings like a fallen angel, and it says blood, COVENANT. So they entered into an agreement and drank the blood, right? That's a blood oath. That's why they have these little things like blood brothers and stuff like that, because it's a homage. It's paying respect back to the Nephilim who devoured flesh and drank much blood. And Yahuwah commanded his servants not to do that. And when they did it, the times became dislodged. Consume all kinds of unclean foods. Call a normal day an esteemed day, and an esteemed day a normal day, and this curse has gone on and on and on and on. This is not done away with. I mean, I believe that it's being lifted. Some people are being shown the true calendar. But also a COVEN is a circle of witches. They have a ritual, and they enter into these agreements together. That's what that word is rooted in. That's where it comes from. That's why when I talked to the Roman Catholic at the service place yesterday, and he said, we're under the new COVENANT, however you spell it. Well, I could see. I reasoned with him from the scriptures, and there was no getting through. Because it's a very powerful spell he's under. A very strong delusion. He can't even see the idolatry. He can't even see that halaling to Mary is an abomination. You see what I'm saying? You don't need that some man shall teach you. A pope, a cardinal, a bishop, what have you. Boy, you need to be the spiritual head of your own house. It's a shame for you to have your head covered. And yeah, they do apply their tool to the stones when they build an altar. And they do go up the steps of the altar and expose their nakedness. And they break the commandments. And he would say, all that is abolished in Krishna, basically. And I could see it in his eyes. Boy, he was getting angry because I was stirring up those devils in him. I'm not wrestling against flesh and blood here. But all I can really do is plant those seeds, rebuke those spirits in Yahusha's name, and ask him to do the rest. Now, if that man comes to me someday and asks me to tell him more about the name Yahuwah, because I told him, and he, like a child, oh, I always thought his name was G-O-D. I told him, I said, there's no other name under the heaven by which a man shall be saved. What's his name? I said, you're supposed to be immersed in his name. His name is a strong tower. What's his name? I was always taught that his name was G-O-D. Oh, okay. So the Baptist, the Mormon, the Pentecostal, the Jehovah's Witness, they all have the same? They all serve the same? No. Well, if they believe in Hail Zeus, they do, you know. I've done this before, and I know how it goes. There's just a certain point where you are not going to penetrate the spiritual veil with logic and reason. You use the scripture, and then you law and you trust Yahuwah. You can't save nobody. I can't save nobody. I could be out here just willing that people would listen to me and ask me questions and let me show them the things that the Father showed me, but that don't work like that. That ain't gonna work like that. For all I know, all this content's being thrown up here for a person in a time to come that's not here yet. I don't even know. I get new members. I get people that come and say, oh, I'm so thanks, Phil, that I found your channel. And I had one that the name was like Young Yashar'Al or something. That was like Heart 100. Love it. A video that I did with Yehuda, like, I don't even know, family, a couple years ago. Halal Yahuwah. May there be some seeds of truth and wisdom that are in there that the Father can use to touch that person in their heart. Call them out of some kind of darkness that they're in. We're all still in different types of darkness. Ain't none of us out here in the perfect light, man. Come on. Are you perfect? I'm not. I'm not. I am not yet what I shall be. And for that I say Baruk Yahuah. And he called me out of what I was when I wasn't worthy of it. And for that I say Baruk Yahuah. So this is, I feel like Shaul saying, I wish to know nothing among you save Yahusha, his impalement and resurrection. You know what I mean? Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. Any water down there, family? I can't see down there. Stretch my neck and I can't see. There are some pretty places down there. It says that it's 71 right here. Erie's in 33 miles. Of course it is. Let us not be... Let me stop this one and start another one, because I don't want that to get lost. Alright. Let us not be surprised when we see the gang signs, tag signs, the signs and symbols of the enemy in this world. Because he is the God of this world. See what I mean? Because I think we all go through that phase. But at some point, my brother and my sister, we need to come out of that being like, oh, look, here a sign, here a sign, there a sign, everywhere a sign. Oh, Hashatan has his fingers in everything, right? Because of course he does. Just like we're not surprised when the reprobate breaks the law, commits a crime. Yeah, a lot of people that you're born and raised with, that you grew up with, that you work with, even people that have his name upon their lips and say they love the scriptures and guard the commandments, are going to commit crimes against you. Even your own Asha and Ash. Dang sure know your children, right? Do we have a verse that talks about love that covers a multitude of hatah, and that those who are forgiven much also shall forgive much, right? If you fail to forgive, you will fail to be forgiven. Oh, you forget this concept, huh? Forget this principle. Oh, that person wronged me, this and that. Like, oh, I'm gonna, I don't know, get them back, or never gonna talk to them again, or something like that. But make sure that you forgive that crime. I think it's okay to choose to keep distance from persons that hurt you, that commit crimes against you, especially if you know they're not in the way. But you never want to close that door completely, because what if they are changed and they come to you and they want to reconcile and they want to repent and they want to say, you were right, I'm so sorry, I was wrong, please forgive me. Would you rob them of that opportunity? That would be an important thing for you to do to someone. Maybe someone tried to warn you and you weren't able to receive something, or you committed a crime against them, you hurt them, and you feel some kind of way about it now, and you want to go back and try to make it right, then you would want to still have that opportunity to do that. And if I've wronged you, please let me know, right? I don't want to have crimes against anybody, but I know that I have committed crimes before, and there are things sometimes that we do that we're not even aware of. You think you know every time you wrong? I had an Ak that used to plow, and he used to say SINs of omission and commission, right? Meaning, I guess, the ones that we admit to and the ones that we don't know about, right? I believe that's kind of what that expression means, but I could be wrong. But I think that's a valid way for us to plow for that, because we don't know everything that we do wrong. And we need the Father to show us the things that we do wrong, and you might need someone to come and tell you, hey man, you said this and that, and that hurt me. You might not have even known you did that. You might not have known that that would hurt them, because you didn't think it would hurt you. It don't make no sense. What do you mean you got hurt by that? But see, that doesn't make it invalid. You still can say, oh, I am so sorry that hurt you. I had no intention to hurt you. I didn't even know, this whole time I thought you were just, I don't know, thought I was goofy and didn't want to talk to me, or something, or you're busy. I didn't know. Sometimes you don't even know. I guarantee you that I've hurt people that I love by telling them the truth. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't have told them the truth. So again, just because they feel a certain kind of way doesn't mean that you have broken the law. but you can still be reconciled to them for their hurt feelings, even if you know that you didn't violate the commandment of the Most High Yah. Right? Live shalomably so long as it is possible for you to. That's a command. Right? So sometimes it ain't gonna kill you to be the bigger man and to apologize. If our attitude is only that I only apologize for things that I do that break the commandments, okay, that's a pretty hard heart. It's a hard-hearted position to take, right? This is where I think that we need an Yahusha to help us to be a little bit more in touch with our feelings, right? You know what I mean? We're entering into Pennsylvania right now. I see the big sign right there. And there's a bell with a crack that's named after a foreign mighty one. Ain't that something? Josh Shapiro is the governor. That sounds familiar. I think that's wasn't that one of the attorneys for OJ? I'm half joking, right? You guys know that these people are appointed into these positions, right? They don't get into those positions without paying certain prices too, by the way. Another one of those things that I'm not supposed to talk about, but it's true. Because, like my Yahusha says, right, this world rewards its own. And so if you keep on putting your trust in these people that are in these positions of power, I would just caution you not to do it. Now, Abba can use anyone to do his will, even Pharaoh, even Hashatan. All the wicked Ruach Ha'Qadash will be used by Yahuah to do his will. Whether they know it or not, I can't imagine how they don't know. You know? Even Adam knows that. So did you guys know that there really is no such thing as Edom? Because there's no E. What are the letters that spell out Edom? Are they not the same letters that spell out Adam? So somebody who claims to be Yashar'Al and is fixated on the flesh is Edom. They don't know it, but they're of the flesh. They're walking in the flesh. They see temporally, and they hate based on fleshly things. Facts. If they're born again of the Ruach of Yahuah, that they're beyond that. They're greater. They're greater than Adam, right? Because they're being made like Yahusha, who is the replacement of Adam. Is that not true? Shaul said that crime entered into the world through one man, Adam. And that reconciliation and favor enter into the world through one man, Yahusha, the greater Adam. Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. Shalom, Shalom, Mashpaka. Alright, welcome back, family. Just laughing because it's like, well, if somebody was watching this, it would be like instantly, and it wouldn't feel like. Anyway, it's kind of funny. So, yeah, it seems like the mattress has bit the dust. I mean, I can air it up, and it feels great, and then like a half an hour later, it starts to feel less than filled. And if I'm on it, it's even worse. So, I don't know, just, it's infuriating, right? It's the second one. Can't buy quality anything anymore. It's all just, everything just seems like it constantly breaks. Well, my Yahusha, thank you so much, sweetheart, found me a Walmart that's like along my route, and it's 2 hours from where I am. So I'm just gonna go there. I wanted to get some distilled water anyway, even though I hate buying water from Walmart. I could have passed by 1,000 wells, and 99% of those folks would probably allow me to get 4 gallons of water. But the thing is, how do you communicate to them, like, hey, I deliver RVs from Washington State. I really don't like to drink water from the municipalities. I mean, how do you go about it? So it is what it is. I may, like, I could keep the containers, right? And then refill them with well water. That's one option. Or I could get a couple more containers, but that's just spending more money. If I reuse the containers, then you know what it is. They're plastic, right? You shouldn't really have consumables in plastic, because you shouldn't be consuming petroleum. Plastic is petroleum based, just like pharmaceuticals are petroleum based. Anyway, whatever. Who cares, right? So, I wanted to get an opportunity to get some of New York on camera, because the truth is that a lot of it is really pretty. And we were in Seneca country, I guess, right? I think there's a lake right over here. I don't know the name of it, but you probably get a view of it right here. Oh, snap! Look at that view. I didn't know we were going to get that. Woo-wee! Dang, and what a pretty park right down there. It's kind of unfortunate that I'm so far away from, like, I still have like 5 hours on my log. I need to get a lot more miles underneath my belt than this, but so I'm gonna go to the Walmart, and I'm gonna get water, and I'm gonna get another mattress, and then I'm gonna continue on to a rest area that I had previously found. It's LEE service eastbound, something like that. Abba Yahuah Baruk Atah, that I can stay there and get my rest, and then go and drop this trailer off tomorrow. I did speak to a gal at the dealership. I called and left a message, and she called me back. She did say that, oh, geese, there's geese right in the water down there. You probably can't see down in the water down there. She won't be at the dealership tomorrow, but she's going to give a heads up to her service department, and she said just go into service and they'll be able to receive the trailer. So hallelujah. My Yahusha also let me know that I was at, I think it's called 5 Legs or 5 Finger Lakes or something. That's pretty crazy. I zoomed out on the map and I was like, oh wow, yeah, there it is. If you know, then you know, right? I guess I'll try to go around this guy. I don't know why he's going. Usually the cars are going to speed limit or more, and he's not. no sé. ¿Por qué no? Why so slow, Joe? There's a Lockheed Martin right there. Double checking the speed limit because these other two cars up here are going a little bit slower than me as well, or else I would have gotten back over already. I don't really want to be in this lane, but I don't know what they got going. I don't know what those buildings are. It says executive offices, space available. Syracuse. I sure do halal that my Easy Pass is working out here. It looks like it's supposed to be. The signs say Easy Pass, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. But there's a lot of tolls. I have gone through several. One car is exiting and the other one seems like he just woke up and realized that he was always sped up. But I need to get back over because there's a big Triton truck coming on. Whee. And they come down those ramps quick. They're tight ramps around here. Yeah, the speed limit was correct, so I don't know. Maybe they were just daydreaming looking at all the grass. I don't know. Just reminded me of another major bill that we have. Boy, bills, 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 money, 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 right? Stress and anxiety and everything else. And it's like, oh yeah, I knew about that. It's not one that's on my budget spreadsheet, so it kind of caught me off guard, but it's not that I didn't know about it, but it's, you know what it is? It's increasingly the feeling that there's more and more stuff coming to me saying, I need money, I need money, I need money, I need money, right? And then there's less and less of me saying, thank you for my money, thank you for my money. Like, it's getting out of balance, and it already was lopsided. Like, it already was tilted, but now it's getting worse. So, is this not how most people feel? Am I in a bubble? What's going on? I would think it's probably everybody. You know what's really crazy is, because I watch a lot of the stuff that's going on in Gaza, and there's this Palestinian man on there, and he's saying, even me, as a government employee, I have to go to the death camp to try to get food. Even me, as a government employee, I cannot feed my family. Even me, like, right? That's pretty telling for the, you know, the times, the spirit of the age. How much folks are there out there that are feeling that kind of imbalance and that kind of pressure, and then, you know, they'll come on the financials and be like, oh, the president is arguing about the Fed, and the Fed is not wanting to raise the rates, and you know, something's slowing in the job market. We can't tell if there's fewer hires or if there's a freeze, and so we have to wait until August to see what's happening. And all I can think is, like, how much longer will this be? I can't even say sustainable, because it's not even sustainable. It's worse than that. You know what I mean? Only Yahuah knows. I'm ready to do what it takes to drop everything or sell everything to try and gather. I know that. That's why I'm putting a call out to try to assemble with a few families. And so I repeat it again. If you're interested, let me know. How long has it been normal to see, just to see a mosque right on the side of the freeway? How long has that been normal? It's not any better or any worse than seeing a circa to me. But you can see like the changes, the instability, the chaos, whatever. It's kind of weird too, seeing a lot of exit ramps closed, on ramps, off ramps. Large sections of our road networks are increasingly restricted. Like I had said before, that as far as supplies, trucking is the blood that drives the whole economic engine. Like the roadways are the arteries of the body. And when I see all this like ramp closed and all this construction and everything, it's like having some kind of heart disease. You have like plaque built up in your arteries, and anyway, I've talked about it before. I'm mentioning it again now, and I apologize for repeating myself sometimes. I really just usually say whatever I feel led to talk about. This is not an accident. This is by design. A lot of these trees look barren. It's just like a bunch of sticks sticking up. Why is it like that? Who knows? I don't think it's normal for them to be like that. But when I look over there at the camera and I see the sky and the clouds and the grass and the trees, I mean it's still all pretty, despite being sick, despite being somewhat poisoned. You can still see the beauty, and there's color-filled flowers down on the shoulder of the road too, purples and yellows and whites, and all that is Yapa. So 78 degrees. We have gone 572 miles with this trailer on. We're averaging 9.6 miles for the gallon. We have 2 hours, less than 2 hours now, an hour and 45 minutes to get to the Walmart, to get some water and another mattress. I don't know. I'm not too sure about the whole like next step modification for the back. It's pretty involved to take the seats out in the Chevy. From what I saw videos online, it's not just a simple unbolting. There's some kind of something built in with the headrests. I didn't quite understand it. It's kind of tricky to get them out. And then, what building much out of wood. I don't have a table saw and right, and then you can't get the mattress or the foam in that size, so you have to cut it. I've watched a few videos on people building beds for the backs of their trucks, so I'm only able to go by that. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't look so easy for me. I better try this mattress thing. And I really thought this mattress was gonna work. It's got me pretty bummed out. Like, I don't know what happened. Did I overinflate it and then push the seat back to its natural position and that put it too much pressure, or is it just cheap rings, O-rings, whatever? Because this one, it has a rechargeable pump that's integrated. That's probably why I failed. And then the other one was from Amazon. That's probably why I failed. So I don't know. Maybe I can get one that has a separate pump, and you close it, and then that way I'm only just adding a little bit here and there and keeping it closed. I don't know, guys. So everything feels pretty deflated, and some days are like that. Like I say, some days are diamonds and some days are rocks, but Baruk Yahuah no matter what. So Baruk Yahuah no matter what. And I'll make my way to the Walmart and see what we can do about that, and then also continue on driving, because I need to get the extra 2 hours of driving. I gotta try to get as much miles under my belt today as I can, and so may Abba Barak me and keep me safe, deliver me swiftly and safely to the planned rest area, and Barak Yahuah. Hallelujah. to my destination. The sign says Springfield Armory National Historic Site. I'm on I-90 in Massachusetts. This is the exit that you would take to go to Springfield right here. I have 11 miles to go, and I've almost maxed out my log. I am maxing out things here. I did get water, Baruk Atah Yahuah, may Abba make it clean and alive for me, because it comes from Walmart and it's distilled water, but I can't take the chance of other water, you know, like just from a spigot, because it's probably city water. So, and I also bought another mattress, and I do halal that it work out this time. Yeah. I know that I was away a lot today, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Had a really gorgeous going down of the sun, but it's been in the rear view mirror because I am pegged on eastbound right now. Straight up eastbound. I'm only going to be about 2.5 hours away from the dealership, so I have plenty of time in the dawning. I don't need to try to rush or anything. It would be lovely if it was cool, a cool evening. Hey, this is the Connecticut River, the sign says. Woo-wee! Look at that. Wide one. A cool evening and a cool dawning. Like that would be ideal. Hey, here's another smokestack. There's been a couple smokestacks that I didn't get on camera, and I apologize, but yeah, there's so much of these all over the place. Let's see if we can get this one. It's right around this bend here. Where is it? Where did you go? There you are. There it is. See it? Yeah, a great conversation with Yahusha. So, Hallelujah. It's difficult for us to be apart so much. For such a long time, we weren't apart. Hardly, I mean, ever. It's one thing for me to go out and work, but I would at least be able to see her for an hour each day. You know, this is weeks, and so it's different for us. Huh? Look at this. Exit 4933, Chicopee. Why? It's constantly. I'm just remembering that I said earlier, don't be surprised when you see those things, right? When you see patterns, signs, symbols of the Prince of the Power, the air, the God of this world. Hallelujah, family. Alright? So, Abba Barak you and your house. Make his face shine upon you, give you his Gil, Shalum, and Hasad, and his Qadashayam, Ba, Hasham, all call Shamu, the name above all names, Yahusha, HaMashiach, the great I am, our deliverer, the anointed one. Hallelujah. Barukah and Ahaba. Mashpaka. Shalom.